Hi there, it's Christy with the Chirp YouTube channel. I am here today to talk to you about some books that I recommend for you to use as an interactive teaching tool with your child. And I'm in a different room in my house today. I am in my home office and I'm sitting on the floor, so you will see that the background is very different, and I hope that you enjoy this little video. I have 4 books from this series, the first one being A Boy, a Dog, and a Frog. They're all by Mercer, and the great thing about them is that they're wordless. And what I mean by that is there are no written words. Goodness, I don't know if I can read a book with only one hand while I'm holding the camera. So the pictures are extremely amazing, and so what I like to do with these is take one page at a time. With pages that have different things happening on each page, I take a piece of paper, a blank piece, and I cover up this half, because this half has different things happening on it than this half. So for example, there we go. I might use a smaller piece, but that's the main idea. And then we focus on this page with the child, and we look at the picture, and I say, the boy is, and I wait for a really long time, because sometimes a child isn't verbal because he doesn't need to be verbal, because other people always say what he is thinking. But if the child doesn't say anything, I might say, the boy is in a tree. He's looking at the water. So I want to make sure that the sentences that I use, if I'm going to be using sentences, are subject, verb, direct object. What that means is subject, the boy, verb is looking, direct object, at the water. So we're keeping these sentences very simple. You can leave off the direct object if you'd like to, so you can say the boy is looking, or the boy is peeking. Look, there's a doggy. What's the doggy doing? Oh, doggy has an itch. Doggy is scratching. So sometimes you can do the words yourself, and I recommend using different words every time you go through these books. So your child isn't memorizing what you say, your child is learning to describe what he sees. So then we look at the next page. What do I see? So that's how we want to start. What do I see? I see. So on every page you can start with I see and sound very excited, and then point to what you see that's maybe new on that page. A lot of times when we start a phrase out like that, I see, and then we wait, a lot of times children will pipe up with what they see, because nobody likes to leave a sentence unfinished. That is called the Cloze procedure, C-L-O-Z-E, and I'll put a link in this video so that you can go to my video about the Cloze procedure, because it's really very helpful to use that in a lot of different areas. Okay, so then we move to the next page, and we do the same thing. Since you have 2 hands, not holding a camera, if you can cover up this page before you turn the page, then it's a little easier. And now you can see, if you look very closely at this lovely illustration, you can see this little froggy is feeling very sad. And this is where we can start to talk about motives, we can start to talk about emotions, we can start to talk about results that come from particular actions. So, for example, I see Oh, look, the boy has a... And we want to use a lot of phrases like, I wonder what he's going to do with that. This is where you want to play dumb a lot. You want to play that you just don't understand what the boy might do with that. And you want to do that every single time so that your child can get in the idea of problem solving and of predicting outcomes. That's a really advanced cognitive skill that a lot of children don't get until they're in their later childhood years. But there's no reason why we can't start the process early. I wonder what he's going to do with that net. Do you think he's gonna try to catch some grass? No, that's crazy. Do you think he's gonna try to catch his dog in the net? No, that's crazy. What else might he try to catch in the net? Oh, the frog? Oh, but look. Oh, Froggy feels so sad. I don't think he likes the net. I wonder what's gonna happen next. Then we look at the next page. And we act really surprised. We pretend like we did not see this coming. Even if you've read this book 10,000 times, you still get really surprised when surprising things happen. Oh no! And for a minute, you don't say anything. Your kid might say something like, fall down, or trip. And then you can, once again, like in previous videos I have mentioned, or I have made, what you want to do with any verbalization that your child makes is make it slightly more complex. So repeat what he says, but add to it. So if your child says tripped, you can say, the boy tripped. Or the boy tripped over the tree. Or, whoops, the boy fell down. And then before we turn the page, we want to find out, how is the Froggy feeling? Froggy is surprised. Boy and dog are surprised. Wow, that's so silly. So we want to take a lot of time with every page, just looking at everything on the page, describing with adjectives and adverbs as much as you can about the picture before you turn the page. This is what keeps a child really engaged in the act of reading, is when what's happening is really interesting and fun. And of course, at any time your child finishes and has lost interest, then reading is finished. You don't have to finish the book. That's not important. The idea about quote unquote reading this way is that children do stay engaged because they feel like they're the ones discovering the story. But if a child is not engaged, then reading, whether there's words or not, is not actually a useful activity, and you should move on and do something else. But as long as your child is engaged, spend as much time as you can with books because it's helpful. And so, as I was mentioning a minute ago, adjectives and adverbs are good, but not too many. Adjectives being words that describe a noun, so a noun being boy, so adjectives might be scared, little, the dog is a noun. Dogs might, or the adjective about the dog might be silly, or actually I don't know what color he is. He might be brown. And you might say wet water, or crooked tree branch. But for the most part, keep your sentences quite simple, and don't use too many words. So I'll give you a couple more examples since this book is so cute. Oh no! Look what happened! And your child is likely to laugh. I've had mostly nonverbal kids just guffaw at this book because it's so cute. And they feel like they know exactly what's happening because it's probably happened to them. The boy is in the water. The dog is in the water. The frog says, "Get away." Now, of course, you want your child to say as much as possible before you say anything. And once again, every time you read this book, I want you to say different phrases, slightly different. It doesn't have to be significantly different, just slightly different. You don't want your child to be memorizing words. Every time you read this book, you want it to be a new adventure, and it can be all about the bucket. If one time you go through and you just talk about what the bucket is doing, the next time you go through and you just talk about how the water is. In this page it's calm, in this page it's ripply. If you just talk about the frog's face in everything, or about how the dog must be feeling, all of these different ways to approach a book are ways that help your child learn language skills and help your child learn social skills and help your child learn cognitive skills and the results of actions and all those kind of things. And so as many different ways as you can go through these books, the better. I am not going to read you the rest of the book, but I am going to recommend A Boy, a Dog, and a Frog. Frog, where are you? Frog goes to dinner. And A Boy, a Dog, a Frog, and a Friend. Because I think all of these books, and just introduce them a little at a time. These are not books that you probably want to just read over and over and over, quote unquote, read over and over. These are not the kind of books that you really want to use as bedtime stories necessarily, just where mom or dad does all the work and the child just looks at the pictures. These are not that kind of book. These are meant to be interactive books, once again, where you discover the story each time in a new and a different and a creative way. So they require a lot of interaction between you and your child, and they require some creativity on your part. But I think you will find it enjoyable, and I know that your child will find it enjoyable too. I hope this day is a really good one for you, and that you go right out and get these 4 books because they're fantastic. I put the links down below. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. Have a good day. Bye.